Hey everyone, so I'm in a different location than normal. I'm downstairs instead of in my filming area, but I wanted to get this up pretty quickly. I'm actually waiting for my doula, who should be here any minute, and I'm losing daylight, so it's kind of like, well, I want to wait upstairs for her and then have to stop filming. So I thought I'd just start filming. So this is week 36 update, and if you watched my last update, you know I've had some pretty big news since week 35. Well, it happened in week 36. So I'm 36 weeks and 5 days. And on Saturday, it was 36 weeks a day, I was diagnosed with cholestasis, I think is how you say it, which is basically like my liver is having a hard time with my bile. Like it's having a hard time breaking down bile or something like that. I'll put like a detailed link below. I wish I prepared like a speech to say like exactly what it is, but it's pretty much like it has to do with your gallbladder, liver, and your bile acids. And I had elevated bile acids, which gave me the diagnosis of cholestasis. I think I'm saying it correctly as well. So on Thursday, I was 35 weeks and 6 days. I went crazy with itching. I think that was the 7th. I was itching. That's all I could think about. It started in the evening. We were taking down our Christmas tree and all our decorations, and I just remember just being like, why am I so itchy? My back is itchy, my sides are itchy, everything. And I was like focused on, I need to find my back scratcher. I really needed to satisfy this itching. So Flo went to bed and I looked it up because I was like, oh, I've heard of something with pregnancy itching, something like PUPS or something like that. So I looked up, I don't know if you say PUP or if it's just PUPP. I looked it up, and you have to have a rash to constitute that, but then I found this other description of what it could be, and it was this cholestasis, which is characterized by elevated liver labs. So I was like resolved that night. I was just, I'm gonna call first thing tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get my liver checked. And that night was insane. Like I woke up several times from a dead sleep to scratch. It was just like relentless. So if you're thinking that itching is a normal part of pregnancy, it can be because your skin is stretching, but this has nothing to do with like topically, like your skin. This is under your skin because it's the bile salts that build up under your skin. There's no way to control it. So yeah, you can't like put extra lotion on or anything. So yeah, that's what happened with that. So then I called the next morning right away, and the nurse called me back, and she was like, of course she was like, oh, you have a rash. And then she said, did you try to moisturize? And then I was just like flat out was like, my husband is a resident, so he thinks I should get my liver tested, which I hate to do because it sounds kind of douchey, but then like they kind of relent and they're like, okay, fine, I'll talk to the doctor about it. So she talked to the doctor, and then she called me back and she was like, oh, talk to the doctor about it. And I didn't even know what it was, but she told me it was cholestasis. And yeah, we ordered your labs, so go ahead and have them done. So I went and had them done like an hour after they ordered them, and they didn't hear anything. The bile test actually takes a day or two, I guess, depending on where you are, because they had to send mine away. It wasn't done locally. And I got abnormal results back Friday night in like my online health record. And then the next morning I got the rest of the results, which was the bile acid result. And that was abnormal. So I guess normal is under 10 and I'm 15, which is not high. Like I've heard of women have it as high as 100, like crazy amounts high. So, but it's still high enough, and I have the itching symptom to diagnosed me with cholestasis. So my doctor called me that afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and she gave me the plan. She like wrote everything out as well in my online health system, and basically it was start Ursidol. I always say it wrong, I think. Ursidol. And I take that 3 times a day. I don't know the dosage. If I remember, I'll put it in here. What was the other thing? Go see maternal fetal medicine, which is basically high risk. and have a consult with them about this, and then be induced at 37 weeks. So like, yeah, I was freaking out when I read that last part of like, oh yeah, the typical treatment is 37 weeks induction, and I was 36 weeks and 6 days. This is crazy. I can see myself in the viewfinder scratching, and I'm sorry if it's annoying, but I can't help it. So yeah, I was freaking out when I read that part. But then she called me and she was like, just go have your consult. There's literally nothing you could have done to prevent this or to treat it. Like once you have this diagnosis, there's no like going back from it. And so because I had gotten sick in the previous week, I think I talked about that, and I was like, well, I remember like I was throwing up bile, like is that bile have to do anything with this bile, and could being sick have thrown it off? And she's like, no, literally, like it was like coincidental. Once you have this, you have it. And usually you've had it in a previous pregnancy, or like you have problems with your liver. And I think I've always had high ALT labs, which is like fatty liver, not from drinking, just from I think being overweight. But it's always been very mild, and nobody's ever said anything about it. My first pregnancy, I honestly don't remember. I remember being itchy, I think a little bit, but it wasn't like this. And they were surprised that it wasn't like progressive within each pregnancy. And then also maternal, like if some on your mom's side, women in your family, it's usually genetic and passed down that way. And I asked my mom, my grandma, my aunt, and they've never heard of this or had it. So, yay. And it's also pretty rare. I think it's, I mean, not super rare. It's like 1 in every 1,000 women get it. Oh, and non-stress test. I forgot about that. So that was like part of the email was like, start the medicine, have your consult, non-stress test, induction. So I am scheduled now for non-stress tests 3 times a week until I deliver, for an hour each time, which I guess is also abnormal because it's usually like 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, but it's an hour each time. And I asked, when I did have my consult, I asked them, why is it an hour if it's typically 20 minutes? And she said that, well, they don't really have any, like, no studies or anything, but at the hospital I'm at, kind of made up this algorithm to put in patients with cholestasis that in the same category as women who have small placentas, like to see a certain amount of heart accelerations in 1 day. My doula's here, I'll be back. Okay, we're a few hours later now. So my doula came and we had a really good discussion about the possible induction plan. And I have a lot of questions now to ask my doctor, which really helped me like focus and make a mental list of things that I need to do. To really make a good decision. So some of the things she suggested I ask are what the plan is, like when I'm induced, like is there like a number of hours that they let me be induced before they consider it like too high risk and I have to go and have a C-section. And then other things were, can I request multiple induction dates and times so I have slots scheduled so I don't have to worry so much about making it to a certain time. And there's a couple other really good questions she had that I'm going to definitely sit down and send an email to my doctor to help me make a better choice. So my appointment today, she checked me. I honestly can't remember what I've recorded because it's been so long. And I think I said this, I'm 1.5 to 2 and 50% effaced. So I would go straight into Pitocin induction versus like a Cytotec or Cerbidel to soften because I'm already pretty soft. Just straight to Pitocin. Oh, that was another question. So my doctor had mentioned she does Pitocin and then she waits till I get to like 3 or 4 centimeters and then she would break my water. And to me that sounds really scary and really intense because not only I would be in Pitocin, then I would have like really hard contractions with my water broke. So another question was, if you're gonna break my water, do you stop the Pitocin? Do you give it a chance to see if I'm just going into labor on my own, so I'm not like having like a double whammy, which feels like a really like it would do a lot of damage to me wanting a natural labor because it would be extremely painful. And I'm really not too fearful of the pain right now. I just want to make sure I know the plan so that I can be on top of what I want. for pain management, etc., which it still is a natural childbirth. So that's the plan so far. So I'm still debating on when I want to have the baby. There's like some external factors about having the baby next week, like childcare. My mother-in-law can't come till after the 22nd, and like commitments that we have to do. We'd have to find other people to take our place. I'd love to have an extra weekend as just a family, like 2 more weekends as a family versus just 1 more weekend as a family of 3, and just a couple extra days for him to cook. So I'm gonna make a whole big email, send it to my doctor. She's really good at communicating that way, and we'll see. I think there's so much to talk about. So that was the huge thing for week 36. I wrote down a couple other small things, which seem pretty insignificant now compared to the cholestasis diagnosis. Okay, so this past weekend I don't know what I talked about, so I'm just gonna say it again. I freaked out. I had our car seat apartment moved up. We installed the infant car seat, and that's in and correct and everything, so that's a big relief. We did a comfort measures class, which I talked about previously, which was just a repositioning class. It was really helpful to just get my head wrapped around positions and try to remember different things to do during labor and relaxation and massage and things like that. We, on a whim, decided that we should probably start the process of replacing our countertops, which we were going to do anyway, and it usually takes a month, so we thought we had a month before, but it takes a while to order them and stuff, and we picked what we want, so we're in the process of doing that as well. And then I had mentioned a while ago, or 2 videos ago, about wanting some suggestions for YouTubers that I could just listen to, because I like talkie videos versus like watching like vlogs, because I can't watch because I'm doing things. And I actually discovered podcasts. So our MOPS group had a little class. It was like called Moms University, and there was different classes you could go to. One was about podcasts. I just had I've always been interested, but I didn't know kind of where to start and how to dive in. And so this mom did a whole talk about it. It was great. How to get which app, because you have an Android, so it's Stitcher if you have an Android, and some of her favorite mom ones, because I'm really into like things that I can listen to around floor, so clean and good content. And there's actually a ton of podcasts for her because she loves to listen to stories in the car. So I would always just go to the library and get CDs or a book on tape or something like that. And our library is pretty small, so we were kind of running through all the ones that they had, and there's tons of free story podcast, so that's very exciting for her because she loves to listen to her stories in the car. So yeah, I think that was all I had for my extra stuff. I'm in a different spot for the belly shot, so I'll try it and then we'll see. Okay, so I have Dems on. Well, these are like sweatpants. I've graduated to sweatpants as real pants. I've decided it's so uncomfortable. So this is 36 weeks and 4 or 5 days. I have like strings, it looks lumpy. That is my 36-week big update with my diagnosis. I'm debating on doing like an official video, like getting down and writing down exactly what cholestasis is, and just doing a video dedicated to it, because there are not many on YouTube and they are older or kind of really talky, like I'm really talky, but I want to do like a short, to the point video, not so rambly, and maybe I'll do one afterwards too, like going through my delivery with cholestasis and yeah, all that stuff. So let me know if you guys have questions, and I will see you maybe for 37. I'll definitely be doing an update as I decide, but I don't know if I'll make it to another video because it's Wednesday and she wants to deliver me in 6 days. I'll definitely be updating, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.